Hidden books, once lost to time, secretly influence how we think today. Imagine a library where shelves are lined with books most people have never heard of, let alone read. These aren't the classics everyone quotes, they're the obscure, the forgotten, the barely published. Yet, their ideas are woven into the fabric of our modern thinking, quietly shaping how we view the world without us even realizing. Let's step into this invisible library, where the books themselves are almost ghostly but their influence is profound. For example, picture a dusty manuscript from the 17th century, sitting untouched for generations. It's not the author's name that matters, few have ever uttered it. Rather, it's a concept buried in its pages, the notion that knowledge can be structured and mapped, rather than simply collected. This idea, passed along by word of mouth and through marginal references, eventually helped inspire frameworks we use today in tech and education. It's as if the book's DNA quietly entered our mental vocabulary. Or consider an early pamphlet about personal freedom, distributed to a handful of friends but never published widely. Its radical thoughts on autonomy would be echoed years later in famous manifestos. While the original pamphlet faded into obscurity, its spirit survived, carried forward by those who encountered it even if only once. The result? Modern ideas about self-determination often carry traces of these hidden origins. Obscure books also shaped how we approach science and philosophy. Think of notebooks filled with wild speculations that never made it to mainstream journals. Later, scientists would stumble upon these ideas, sometimes by accident, and incorporate them into their own work. In doing so, the forgotten notebooks became stepping stones to breakthroughs, even if their authors vanished from history. Even in art and language, invisible texts play a role. A little-known poetry collection might introduce a new metaphor or rhythm, picked up by more famous poets who cite their influences but rarely mention these foundational works. Over time, the original text fades, but its innovations ripple through culture. Why do these books matter? They remind us that influence isn't always direct or obvious. Sometimes, change happens quietly, through back channels or fleeting encounters. The invisible library is real, its books are the stories behind the stories, the roots of our ideas. So next time you hear a concept that feels universal or see a new trend in thinking, remember, it might trace back to an obscure text, hidden from sight but not from impact. These books are proof that even the most overlooked voices can change the world in unexpected ways. Follow Lorelight for more stories worth knowing.